One Jedi Mike here, and I'm back with another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about the new season of Harley Quinn Season 5, which will be streaming on HBO Max. The first episode will be coming out in January 16th of 2025. Now, this season follows up the events of Season 4, and I will say that as a comic book fan, as a DC fan, I'm just happy to say that we get to a point that we have 5 seasons of an amazing show, especially featuring Harley Quinn. Now, this will be a non-spoiler review. All the episodes will be coming out weekly, starting on January 16th of 2025. Now, with this season, we see the new stage of Harley and Poison Ivy in their new relationship, and we're basically kind of going through any regular problems that couples go through, where they feel like they're missing some type of spark and missing some type of excitement in the relationship, and they get pulled into a new adventure, moving from Gotham City to Metropolis, and we go to Metropolis, and we get obviously, which is the hometown for Superman, and we get a bunch of DC characters within the Superman mythos, such as Lois Lane. We also know that obviously from Season 4 that Lex Luthor is in jail, but we also get introduced to new characters. Lena Luthor, who is played by Aisha Taylor, who was voiced by Aisha Taylor, and I think her new character definitely adds another element to the dynamic in the relationship between Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and not much is really revealed beginning stages of this season about what her intentions are, but you get to see some undertones of what actually her true motivation is. But I feel like she's a really good addition to this cast, new characters. But in Metropolis, obviously, we get Lois Lane, we get Superman, and we're seeing Superman also in a stage of this character as we've seen him in previous seasons, but now in his hometown, now we're seeing where Superman is now almost getting to a point where he's becoming irrelevant, right? He's becoming irrelevant. We started to get seeds of like where he's at emotionally as a character, and I think it's very interesting seeing that this type of lightheartedness of the Superman, the fact that yes, he is big, he is stoic, but at the same time he also is just a person who has feelings, that has emotions as well, just like anybody, and seeing that character who represents lightheartedness, represents hope, but at the same time in a society where people don't actually see that he matters, that's very interesting, the complex idea that they kind of dive into in the beginning stages of the season. But it's interesting to see how obviously, as this is the year of the DCU, as we're starting obviously concluding with Creature Commandos, starting also with this season of Season 5 Harley Quinn, but in July of 2025 we're going to get the first film of Superman, played by David Corenswet, directed by James Gunn. And this, you can definitely see the tones of this show, kind of, even though it's not in the same continuity, it's still just showing themes of Superman and Metropolis and stuff like that, and kind of preparing us for what's coming out in the later half of this year. They know that their audience are DC comic fans, so there's gonna be a lot of Easter eggs that you can see either by a dialogue, but other cameos of characters, but also just certain costumes and stuff in terms of the environment. Like, the location of Metropolis, and you see things in the lore of Superman comics, and I think that was very interesting to see. Again, just keeping that excitement, even though they're not diving into the whole zeitgeist of it all and trying to make a whole plot in the current story of Season 5, but they do a good job just for sprinkling a little bit of Easter eggs for the fans out there, especially you're a fan of Superman. You get to see that, like, maybe certain costumes or certain elements of Superman that, that's you, that reminded you of previous either iterations of Superman, animated or live action. And I think, again, that was very interesting to see that. But you also get returning characters like Bruce Wayne, but the one thing that I really appreciate with this show they're doing, that what the first few seasons did, is that they are never scared of actually expanding, Harley character, as well as Poison Ivy, in the realm of the DC universe. That in this show, you feel, again, the connectedness in terms of the overall DC universe of characters that already exist and stuff. And the fact that, like in previous seasons, that we already got Darkseid, already got Parademons, got the Justice League and stuff like that, that this show is not scared to tackle other plot points, especially introducing new characters but iconic villains such as Brainiac. And you get to see a little seeds being planted in terms of him moving on to this season. But the fact that how they handled the dark side storyline in previous seasons, to me, I am not afraid in terms of how the Harley Quinn in this show is going to fit in terms of Brainiac. It will be interesting because he is a more intellectual villain. So it's something interesting to see how this is going to play out in the rest of the season for you guys. But I do love, in terms, again, the animation, that animation definitely fits with the tone of the show. Again, this is an adult theme. You also get more aspects of not only, in terms of seeing the growth of Harley Quinn, you're also seeing the growth of Poison Ivy, but as well as seeing, parts of her origin, like where she come from, and where some things are parts of her trauma that we haven't really dealt with in the 5 seasons, right? And we've seen, again, their relationship go, up and down, all to the point that now they're a functioning, healthy couple at this point. But at the same time, they are, even though they are, you have Poison Ivy, who's a metahuman, and Harley Quinn is just a human, but you still have these people just being human characters in terms of the writing of these characters. These people are flawed. They are in a relationship. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to make they have areas of growth. But the big thing I feel coming from someone that's married is that I definitely love how they're using this show, or at least in the story point this season. You're seeing the growth and the challenges that Harley and Poison Ivy are going through in the relationship, and it's just enlightening to see them portraying it in a new lens, as well. Just not only just using comic book characters, but just in a different form of relationship, in terms of also a partnership as well. And I love that they highlight that in a, not only in a realistic manner, but in a respectful manner too. Because again, I feel like the big thing when you're tackling with these out of the world characters, especially DC characters, the root of who the characters are in terms of their core, their foundation, right? And even though they can be wild, be messed up and crazy, just as we've seen with this show, this season you get to see a little bit more of growth and development of their relationship as people, and I love to see that. But also another thing too, in terms of as this is an adult show, yes, there is violence, there's gore, there's a lot of definitely sexual connotation to certain jokes as well. Again, I don't advise children watching this show, but at the same time, this is a very entertaining show and realistic show in terms of the themes that they tackle this as you being an adult viewer. Definitely comedic and entertaining on the upcoming beginning of the season, but as they also expand the lore of these characters, you also get to see some new faces, but from comic readers you get to see some familiar faces as well, that are tied to some of these characters' origins, and that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. But also another thing, in terms of them adapting certain comic book storylines as well, in terms of we seeing, in the trailers for the season, that you get to see Red X, you get to see other DC characters. Continue to keep your eyes out there because there's more surprises that they only reveal in the trailer. And I was very happy to see how they play this. Again, they're not treating you like an idiot as a DC fan. You know who these characters are, you know these comic book references, and then you pay attention to the dialogue. There's some seeds or Easter eggs that are in there just for you. And it's very exciting to see that. And again, just to the fact that we get to 5 seasons on HBO Max, with Harley Quinn, who's an amazing character. But again, the writing of this character, again, along with with Poison Ivy, with King Shark, with Clayface, now also you get like Superman, Batman, other sort of characters that appear. I'm very happy to see again this story of these characters that I grow to love, and for me reading the comics and seeing them now in this new format animation, that I just happy to see that in 5 seasons that the entertainment is still at the height it's ever been, and it's still keeping that momentum, and I hope to see this continue on in further seasons, but we have to wait and see. But you guys are in store for something very, very good for this season 5 for Harley Quinn, which will be streaming on HBO Max on January 16th of 2025. All right, make sure you subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Let me know your thoughts of Harley Quinn season 5 on HBO Max. All right, see you guys in the next video. Peace.